Hey guys, I'm at a White Blaze again, and I've got a hiker. You know how happy I am now. I just met this guy today. I actually went on, he's on YouTube, and we're gonna plug that today. We're gonna find out who he is, a little bit about him, and then just ask him some questions like we normally do. Go ahead and give us your trail name, a little bit about yourself.
My trail name's Oso. It's O-S-O. I've wanted to hike the AT since, gosh, I was 13 years old, and I've been married about 16 years, and every year that I've been married, I've asked my wife if I can come hike the AT, and she finally said yes about a year ago. So,
can you remember? Oh, so let me first off go back. How did you get that name?
Well, about 2 years ago, I was doing a mission. I don't know if it's really missionary, but a trip with our church to Bolivia. And I was working at an orphanage in the middle of the Amazon forest, and they kept calling me Papa Oso. Actually, my buddy gave me that name, but the kids kept calling me Papa Oso, Papa Oso. So it's Oso is black bear in Spanish.
Okay.
So
they thought you was a black bear.
They thought I was a black. Well, I was big enough to, I guess, big enough to, I was a little bit bigger than they were, so they were calling me Papa Bear.
And you said 13 years old.
I was 13. I was in Boy Scouts and went to Newfound Gap. Yeah.
Can you remember the instance? You kind of shared over supper tonight. We talked more than I normally talk to somebody before I interview you.
Yeah.
So I do have a few things I know about you.
I was at the 1982 World's Fair in Knoxville, Tennessee with my Boy Scout troop, and the Scoutmaster took us up to Newfound Gap, and he pointed to the south, and he said that takes you about 200 miles back to Georgia, and he pointed the other direction, and that takes you about 2,000 miles to Maine. And I just couldn't believe in my head that I couldn't wrap it around my brain that a trail would go that far. So I pretty much decided at that point, at some point in my life, I'm going to hike the AT.
And it come real now.
I still can't believe it's real.
Right in front
it's
of you.
amazing to be out here with White Blazes, talking to Mr. Jimmy and I believe, and all these other great people out here on the trail. I mean, I've met Fresh Ground. Oh goodness, Probation Termination. You see things in other people's videos about the AT, and just to walk past like the Snowbird VOR before you actually hit Max Patch, or walking over the top of Max Patch. It's very surreal.
Okay,
I'm even out here.
let's plug your channel now.
That's I'm at Oso Hikes, O-S-O and H-I-K-E-S, and
On YouTube.
on YouTube. Yes.
And is it any other way that you're like Instagram?
I've
or
got
anything?
Instagram too. Oso Hikes, same thing. I don't usually post that much on Instagram. Maybe once a week, or every time I hit a major landmark on the AT, I'll post a picture. But
All your gear working good, Oso?
I love my gear. I've watched lots of YouTube videos on gear.
You've paid your dues.
I have. Yeah.
What's your favorite piece of gear, if you had
My
to say one
favorite piece of gear is my Patagonia R1. It absolutely, from the teens all the way up, from the degrees Fahrenheit. I'll wear it probably all the way up into the 50s or 60s. So it's very breathable, very warm. Definitely my favorite piece of gear. Yeah.
Hey, I'm curious because I didn't ask you this off camera. Do you know very many thru hikers? Did you ever know one personally?
Knew one personally. That's Sleeves. I actually got a chance to meet and hike with Sleeves, who's from Cartersville, Georgia.
Yeah. He had a great YouTube channel.
He sure did. And the cool thing is I had no idea that I was going to get a chance to meet him. There was no way on his YouTube channel to really get in touch with him. So I actually met his dad in Rockmart, Georgia, which is my original hometown, and just totally off the wall, by chance, by happenstance, just could not believe I met his dad. And he gave me his phone number. I called him up and I said, "Hey, Sleeves, I'd like a chance to hike with you and talk to you." And he's like, "Sure, let's go meet at Pine Mountain there in Cartersville." So we went and hiked and talked, and it was
That's
amazing.
the first thru hiker you really
That's
met in person.
First thru hiker I met in person.
Sounds like he made an impression.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Really is.
Made an impression on you.
Yep. Sure
All
did.
right, so let me throw something at you.
Okay.
You've heard, I think you've watched some of the channel. You know that when you finish this hike, that you're going to be the first person that many people meet that's ever hiked the Appalachian Trail.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good thought.
Yeah.
That just as you was so impressed with Sleeve, that's going to be turned 360, turned back towards you.
Yep.
And you're going to have an opportunity to be what Sleeve did for you.
Sure.
And I'm excited about when you get there and start experiencing that part of what you're doing. Your wife said you could go ahead and go. What about kids? You got children?
I do. Casey and Cooper. I've seen them twice since I've been out on trail. Saw them first time in Hiawassee. We got to spend some time together. And then another day in Gatlinburg. They're excited. They're watching my channel. And now I'm going to tell them, hey, go check out Mr. Jimmy's channel.
What, and your brother? You said you had two brothers?
I've got two. One's younger, Greg, and then the youngest brother's Chris. And I've got two nephews too, Logan and Evan. Of course, my mom and dad watch the channel too.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
they're excited for me. I guess they're excited for me to be out here. They're living vicariously through my videos, and
Well, I'm sure they're proud of you
yeah,
for being out here and making it to Hot Springs. That's no easy feat.
yeah.
What do you think it's going to be like? Can you think your mind can comprehend what it's going to be like when you make it to Katahdin?
I don't. I really don't. I don't know if I'll be. You know, I've seen people go up just very excited, and then they'll get up to the top and just kind of lose it. You know.
Most people do.
Yeah.
Most people do.
So I'll probably be the same way, no doubt.
What's been the hardest part about being away from home?
Just being able to hug my wife, kiss my wife, talk to my wife. Well, you know, I have been able to talk to her quite a bit on the phone, but and then of course Casey and Cooper, you know, they don't really understand. I've got time in the military, so I kind of know how to get my brain. I'll be home. I'll get home at some point. So, but for me to be away from them, I think is difficult.
Okay.
To know my dad's out here hiking and not there with them. But they are, like I said, they are watching these channels and videos, so they get to see me every day, and I do get to talk to them on the phone. So
Now, I asked the last few days some people a question I usually don't ask until they do more miles, but I'm starting to ask this year earlier. If you could have one luxury item with you every night at camp, and it had to be the same luxury item every night from here to Katahdin, what luxury item can you think of at home that you might would want to have?
a heater.
A heater. Hey,
To get up in the morning, that's the hardest part, is getting out of your quilt or your sleeping bag and getting dressed and getting going in the morning. It really is.
that reminds me, I was interviewing a guy 2 or 3 years ago. He said something about a heater. I said, you look like you're carrying an extension cord that could get you from the last town.
Yeah.
And but that's cool. Yeah, a heater.
Yeah.
But you actually carry a pocket rocket.
Yeah.
Oh, so you actually got a heater
Yeah.
with you in another way. You know what surprises me? I'm going to say this on camera. I had never said it maybe but once or twice. It shocks me when I ask people and no one says a toilet. I just, you know, I'm not a hiker. I'm an interviewer, and I watch my wife hike the trail. But I keep thinking somebody's going to tell me they wish they had a toilet.
Yeah.
But y'all get used to just using the bathroom in the woods real easy.
Yeah, going off the trail 200 feet if you got to. You know, if you try to stay near a privy if you can, or you go through. It's all about timing. It really
Okay.
is.
If you can hold it to the
Yeah.
time, right.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
There was a lady called Sally Forth, told me she never pooped in the woods. She made it to a privy or a town.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
That's
What are you
discipline.
looking forward to the most right now at this moment up the trail?
Well, I think I'm going to get to see my family in Virginia.
Okay.
I'd love for it to be somewhere around Grayson Highlands to see the ponies. Yeah. McAfee Knob is kind of out there in my brain as far as just different landmarks that I've known about on the trail. Mount Washington, there's just, you know, I got to say there's near-term landmarks and far-term stuff that I know that's going to be way further on down the trail, like Harper's Ferry. There's a lot of history in Harper's Ferry, Virginia, and Maryland area.
Sure. What about, how do you feel now that the Smokies are behind you?
Oh, I'm excited. The Smokies, I think, was a big test. It was a big challenge, weather-wise, terrain-wise. Met a lot of through hikers. Like I said, it's a very bonding experience out here on the trail with the other hikers. It's very much like the military. You go through that hard, difficult training, and it really starts to tie you all together.
I tell people I think the Smokies, and I'm not a hiker, I'm around hikers an awful lot, but I think the Smokies is a confidence builder.
Absolutely. Yep.
And they come out of the Smokies with a new feeling about the trail.
Yeah, once you hit that Mount Carrer or Davenport Gap, once you hit that last shelter, and it's another mile to that last permit box to put your permit in the box and
walk away and say, "I beat you, buddy.
Right.
I beat you. I've won this game."
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, guy. I ain't gonna keep you long. I know y'all got somebody to meet here in a few minutes. Anything that you would share as a thought to somebody that's thinking about doing this next year that you would want to encourage them not to forget in the planning stage?
Not to forget, do your shakeout hikes. Probably at least 2 or 3 of them with mountainous terrain. Stay as study the guide, the AWOL guide or gut hooks, and try to find terrain that's very similar, close to home. But go out, test your equipment, learn how to pack your pack. I've seen a couple situations out on trail where the sleep system was not protected. I think it was like day 20. I was starting in the Smokies, and there was a backpack sitting on the side of the trail with unprotected sleep gear, unprotected sleeping bags. It's just very dangerous to be out here if you don't plan and prepare and try to get in at least some sort of shape. It just makes it easier to go down the trail if you've had some sort of preparation.
Anybody you want to say hello to before we let you go?
I love my wife. I love Miss you D and Casey and Cooper. See you guys hopefully real soon.
God bless every step between here and Katahdin, buddy, and hope we see you up the trail and get an interview about the 1,000-mile mark.
Absolutely.
How about it?
Thanks, Jimmy.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Jimmy.